Kelly asked me to talk about elders or getting old, and it's a question that all of us will face. Many of us are facing it. Looking at our parents, for instance, or members of the older generation, and we have a very difficult relationship to aging, especially in the U.S., where everyone wants to be young. But the perennial wisdom, or the wisdom that comes through just about every culture except our own, is that why would anyone want to be younger? Why would anyone want to go through that again? Except for some of the fun stuff, maybe. But, we all see it. Celebrities who've had their tummy tucks and their Botox and their facelifts, and they have that kind of permanent smile that is the result of too much cosmetic surgery. But the perennial wisdom is that there's great value in being an elder. And I've experienced that myself living in other cultures, especially in Polynesia and in Asia, where age is very respected and listened to. Now, I've been reading a book called Falling Upward, which is by Richard Rohr, R-O-H-R. Richard is a Franciscan priest, a Catholic priest, who's very famous in the contemplative movement. He's a wonderful theologian and spiritual director. And he's making the point in this book that in the first half of our life we think we're going up, and then we think that age is going down, as we say, over the hill. But he's trying to pick that apart and look at it quite differently. And he's saying that the issues of a 20-something are quite different from the issues of a 60-something. And here he's talking about the famous Catholic monk Thomas Merton, who was very, very popular in the 40s, 50s, and he died in the early 70s. And Thomas Merton was very fascinated with Buddhism, among other things, but he was a real contemplative. And here Father Rohr is, in the final chapter of his book, is quoting this poem by Thomas Merton from the second half of Merton's life, as he's only in his 50s here, but he's already beginning to see things differently. And I'll read the whole poem, and then we can talk about it. When in the Soul of the Serene Disciple is the title. When in the soul of the serene disciple, with no more fathers, that's capital F, with no more fathers to imitate, poverty is a success. It is a small thing to say the roof is gone. He has not even a house, period. Stars, as well as friends, are angry with the noble ruin. Saints depart in several directions. Be still. There is no longer any need of comment. It was a lucky wind that blew away his halo with his cares. a lucky sea that drowned his reputation. Here you will find neither a proverb nor a memorandum. There are no ways, no methods to admire, where poverty is no achievement. His God lives in his emptiness like an affliction. What choice remains? Well, to be ordinary is not a choice. It is the usual freedom of men without visions. This is a complicated, maybe difficult poem, but let me pick out a few lines of it that I think are important. He's talking about the serene disciple with no more fathers to imitate. So as you get older, your parents die, or your spiritual mentors, your teachers die. No more fathers to imitate. But that doesn't mean we stop imitating. I think I've mentioned before here that certain figures in my life, I'm still trying to imitate, even though they're long gone. And it's perhaps a tribute to their memory that I do so. And then the line, poverty is a success. It is no small thing to say the roof is gone. He has not even a house. Stars as well as friends are angry with the noble ruin. Saints depart in several directions. So a house is blown down, roof is gone, and saints depart in several directions. And then it changes, and he says, "Be still." There is no longer any need of comment. I would like to post this on the website. There is no longer any need of comment. As Americans, we think we have to comment. We know we have the right to say whatever we want, and we have the right to comment. Be still. There is no longer any need to comment. It was a lucky wind that blew away his halo with his cares, a lucky sea that drowned his reputation. So it's very dangerous to become famous, to become well known. That's a constant theme in the Buddhist teaching especially. Beware. Beware not only of your own fame, but beware of famous people, of hanging around, of becoming part of the entourage. A lucky sea that drowned his reputation. Here you will find neither a proverb nor a memorandum. So, a proverb is a way of speaking, right? It's a metaphor. A memorandum is another way of speaking, completely different style, and so on. But here there's neither proverb nor memorandum. There are no ways, no methods to admire. Where poverty is no achievement, his God lives in his emptiness. What choice remains? Well, to be ordinary is not a choice. It is the usual freedom of men without visions. And men without visions means really men without people, without delusions, without some mission. I'm on a mission to save people or to convince people that my religion is the best. So, falling upward, it's really worth a read. Here's a quote from Carl Jung that starts one chapter. One cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning. For what was great in the morning will be of little importance in the evening, and what in the morning was true will at evening have become a lie. It's Carl Jung. We have lots of connections too. This is one more poem by a Zen Buddhist poet, contemporary, sort of in the bridge generation between the beats and hip hop, maybe. Stephen Levitt. Here's a poem about the same stuff. Where you are going and the place you stay come to the same thing. What you long for and what you've left behind are as useless as your name. Just one time, walk out into the field and look at that towering oak, an acorn still beating in its heart. So the young, old, and all that interconnection. I think I've said enough.